Tomorrow's World at Large.
It's like flying. As a scuba diver, you're weightless and free to glide over the strange marine landscape. But what's it like to work underwater, like a North Sea diver? How does a person become a professional diver? Last spring, I decided to find out, and that began the most grueling experience of my life. The first step was to get accepted at a professional diving school, like Fort Bovisand in Plymouth. And that meant persuading its director, Alan Bax.
Peter, tell me, why on earth do you want to become a diver?
Well, I just want to find out what makes a diver tick, and it seems the only proper way to do that would be to become one myself. Is that wrong?
It depends really on you. I mean, how old are you, Peter?
I'm 37.
That's an old man by diving standards. I mean, the guys who generally take this course are their mid-20s, young, fit men from a tremendously wide and varied background. 37, you'll be a grandfather. The easiest way is for you to take what we call an aptitude test, to really sort out whether you've got the natural ability to go into this sort of activity.
Easiest way. First they completely exhausted us with underwater work, and then we had to swim a mere 5 lengths of the harbour in a wetsuit and a 14-pound weight belt.
Name?
McCann.
Right, okay, up to the top, extra weight belt on, and straight back down here, quick as you can, please. Come on, then, we're all day, move. You've got the run next.
Yeah.
You okay to do it?
Yeah.
Feeling
I mean,
you've got, you're not going to sort of
do you get a couple of minutes?
You got a couple of minutes while we're finishing there.
Yeah.
You'll be okay.
Yeah, right.
No, we don't want to go and kill you.
Yeah. I want to go for a holiday to Colditz.
Come on, let's have you up on the end. Press! Come on, press! You're nearly there now. Come on, Peter, you're nearly there now. Come on. Forward to the end, away to the guy in the jetty. Come on. Keep going, you're nearly there now. Okay, straight back, don't stop. Come on, straight back, keep going. Come on, keep going. Come on, keep running. If you stop, that's it, Peter. Get up, or else I'll fire you. Get up. Come on. If you're going to train with us here at Bobby, you're going to do this every day. Come on, let's go. Come on, keep going. Keep going.
I've got a stone of weight here.
Great. Keep going, come on. That's it, I don't want you to be last back in the jetties here, so run.
Come in. Hello, Peter. Hello. Well, you've been through it.
You could say that again, yes.
Yeah. Well, which do you prefer, good or bad news?
Well, if we have the choice, let's have the bad news first.
Okay, well, fundamentally, Peter, I don't think there's any way you're going to be able to get into saturation or that type of diving under the present situation. Training is difficult, the regulations are complicated. The good news, therefore, is that it will be possible for you to get offshore and dive using air as the breathing mixture and properly surface orientated. However, there's one other
fairly important thing which you'll have to cope with before then, and that's the medical. You'll need a full commercial diving medical.
Even as a so-called surface-orientated diver, I could be going down to over 160 feet, and that literally puts enormous pressures on the body.
68 kilo. Okay, under the height measure. This measures how much fat or blubber you've got, because there's some evidence that that's associated with your risk of getting bends. 5.5. Turn good? Around. 11 and 13. That's fine. That's fine. Okay, come on now, all you've got. Come on. Harder, harder, harder. Last little bit. Come on, right out. The only minor abnormality we found was that dense area by your left hip, which is of no significance whatever. We find it in about 10 to 15% of the people. Your heart's a normal size. So I guess you've passed. Okay, well there you are. There's your logbook. Good luck. Be careful.
They call it Compost Castle. It was to be home for the next 2 weeks. My roommates were here for 12 weeks, if they could stay the course, in hopes of qualifying as North Sea divers. My crash course was to be no less intensive, and so we all had to start the day at the same time and in the same way.
You can dance, every dance with the guy who gives you the eye and will hold you tight. You can...
Go on, gentlemen, minute.
But don't forget who's taking you home and in whose arms you're gonna be.
Get warmed up. All right, feet together. 1, 2, 3. Knees up to chest. 1, 2, 3. Knees up to chest. 1, 2, 3. Knees up to chest. 1, 2, 3. Press up position.
You're gonna kill us, isn't it?
Ready, nose.
Nose just off the deck. Nose just off the deck. Lock in. There's a killer. This. Come on. Lock in. Lock in.
Come on.
Lock in. Come on. Lock in.
Come on, Roy. Right. 10 press ups in your own time. Go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
I was beginning to ask myself, if I'm here to learn diving, why am I spending all my time running? It's because fitness and stamina are vital when you're at depth. If anything goes wrong, and something's bound to at least once in a diver's career, your life and that of your partner could depend on your strength and agility.
Up! I didn't say stop.
Come on, man.
Come on.
Come on. Yes, you can.
Come on, Peter. Well, I got to stop. 1.
Think you'll eat breakfast?
Are you better now, Peter?
Terrible. You still want to be a diver?
Just give me a few minutes, I'll give you a reply.
Get up. Up to you, yes.
No matter how fit you become, as a diver, your life depends on your equipment. I'd never worn a dry suit before, but it's essential for staying down any length of time in the cold waters around Britain.
What am I going to do with it?
You want to put this?
Over your head.
Put your head, pull it wide and get your head through. And pull it over your head. See, come on. Mind you don't rip it. This is very delicate.
They're comfort, these, aren't they?
I know, keep your arms like that.
Like that.
Tuck this sail in.
After the struggle into the suit,
Right.
I was given a private lesson in how to use the rest of the equipment.
Right then, Peter. As you're aware from your scuba days, once the cylinder on your back is empty, then that's your dive completed. Now, in the commercial world, that, of course, is not acceptable because you're required to do a job of work. And therefore, we've got to have unlimited supply of air to you. And the way it's done is quite simple. Here we have the umbilical. That is the main air supply, which comes from a panel in the control shack. Okay? It comes into the helmet, and here on the front, as you can see, there's almost like a second stage of the scuba which you've been using. Okay? Here we have the communications cable because now we can talk to divers, which is the thing we must do. Okay? And inside there is just a microphone, all right, which you can talk to us and get on with it. Yeah. Now, the first thing we'll go for is the weight belt. Okay. Now, this is a much heavier weight belt than you normally use in your scuba.
Yeah.
And it's needed, of course, because you've got to stay on the bottom.
How heavy is it, do you know?
Yes. Each of these weights weighs 3 kilos. You've got 6 of them, so you've got about 18 kilo of weight. Okay, that's roughly close to around about the 40-pound mark. All right, now we'll put the cylinders on. Okay, just put your arms through so we get firmly onto your back. Okay.
The cylinders carry just a few minutes of air to be used in
Nice and
emergencies.
comfortable. Yeah.
They would only be needed if the main supply fed down the umbilical failed.
Should you lose air from the surface, then you go to this valve here, which is the bailout valve. You just open that up, all right, and then, all right,
Yeah.
and you turn it away from you, anti-clockwise.
Right.
The idea is to just put your face into the mask so that the oral nasal is fitting quite comfortably. I'll do it up at the back. People with long hair normally suffer here because they get caught in a zip. Put it down into position, like so. Then we put on the spider. Okay. I'll put 2 on the spider. If it's too slack or too tight, let me know and we'll adjust it accordingly.
A few seconds after the mask went on, I started to feel tense and claustrophobic. If it was going to be like this all the time, I began to wonder if I'd be able to go through with it.
There we go. Okay, Peter, okay? All right, stand up. That's it, up you come. Okay, make your way to the ladder. Okay, yeah, down you go.
They too were wondering how I'd cope, and straight away sent me down for my first lesson in professional diving gear. They wanted to find out if I could remain calm, how well I could handle emergencies, and if I would do precisely what I was told.
Okay, tell this diver to leave surface. Roger that.
I wasn't too surprised when they cut off my air supply, but I wasn't prepared for what came next.
Surface diver 1. I want you to stand on your head.
Standing on my head.
Roger that, diver 1. Now I want you to lay flat on your back.
Lying flat on my back.
I want you to sing God Save the Queen nice and loud.
God save our precious Queen. Long live our noble Queen. God save our Queen. And Victoria.
Roger that, diver 1. Stand by.
Diver 1 on the surface. Okay, get straight up the ladder with this swell.
Come on up, Peter. Otherwise you swell and knock him around all over the place.
That's it, keep coming. Okay, how's that, Peter?
That was great.
You did very well there. Well done. Yeah, there's hope for you. I think you're going to make it.
After that, I was allowed to rejoin the others on my course, the bad lads, or basic air divers. Over the next week, we dived daily in Plymouth Harbour, getting used to the equipment, the currents, and actually working underwater. But so far, this was only at shallow depths.
Okay, chaps, tomorrow you're starting your deep diving programme on the boat, and as customary, we usually blow you down to a depth of 50 metres in our chamber here before you start the deep diving programme. This is to illustrate the effects of what we call nitrogen narcosis, which I'm sure you all know all about.
50 metres, over 160 feet, is the greatest depth a diver can go breathing air. The high pressure at that depth forces the nitrogen in the air into the diver's bloodstream, which causes nitrogen narcosis, or raptures of the deep as it's called. The safest way to experience this is in the dry, in the controlled atmosphere of a compression chamber. Oh, the balloon, incidentally, is no joke. Balloons are used to show the effect pressure can have on the diver's lungs.
Okay, chaps, I notice you've got quite thick clothing on, so it'd be a good idea to take the clothing off now on the descent, because it's going to get fairly warm. You can put it back on again when we come up. Okay, we have the hatch closed. We're ready to leave surface.
Roger, taking you down now.
Roger, over.
Okay, you're 50 metres. Got 1 minute to go.
The pressure makes you sound like Donald Duck, and at the time, almost anything seemed amusing.
Ray, we're going to start bringing you up now.
Were we drunk down there?
A few days later, our first real deep dive didn't seem nearly so funny. We were to dive in a part of the harbour that's over 130 feet deep, and it was to be my final test.
Okay, load away. Stand clear of the rope.
If I could control the nitrogen narcosis and not panic at that depth, the school agreed to give their approval for me to dive in the North Sea.
Oh, Pete, this is your big one. Okay.
Okay. We'll dive a one-arm panel.
Okay, Peter, when you get to the bottom of the shot, okay, if you have any trouble with your ears, as I say, just go up and down slowly, just show you up and down.
Okay, fine.
All right, no problems?
No, that's fine.
Good, thanks. Fine. Okay.
On panel?
Dive a one-arm panel. So comms and bail out.
Mac, take the stern line.
Success or failure depended on how the chief instructor judged my ability. I was particularly worried that morning because a cold was affecting my ears, and I didn't really know if they could adjust to the pressure on the bottom.
Okay, Peter, let's go. Okay, give him a bit of slack down there. Losing the water, we'll put you onto the shot. Okay? Take your time. Where you go? Onto the shot. Now, Mark, just feed him away gently.
Yeah.
Okay, keep a good hold of him. Okay, Peter? Great. Okay, send this diver away. Roger that. You want to listen to him on the comms, Joe, just to... We'll probably have to talk him down with his ears.
Surface diver 1.
On the bottom, 130
Roger that.
feet. Only one reports log.
Down here. You guys will be glad to know that the bottom is not muddy here. It's all sunny.
Diver travelling.
Okay, the diver's coming up.
We'll see the little green man.
Fun? Has he seen the little green man? Yeah. He's greasing his red of a scent.
Diver coming up.
Diver travelling.
Roger that.
Comes. Diver on the surface. Take it to the ladder.
You understand again? No.
Sit him down.
It takes your time. Good work, yeah, that's you.
Ah, that's lovely. Just to prove I got there, I've got a bit of the bottom down here.
Some of that. Perfect.
There you are for the geologist amongst you.
You're about 131 feet, about 40 metres.
Yeah. I think we'll sit on the strength of that you can go.
Ah, that's great news. Don't burn for you.
So, 4 days later, I found myself aboard a diving rig servicing an oil platform 180 miles off the coast of Norway.
We've been asked to give you a working dive, Peter. And quite honestly, we feel with the amount of training you had, we're going to have to give you at least 2 or 3 hours run round on the bell and on our particular equipment. It's going to be difficult. You're going to have a lot to learn in the next few hours. When you've done the bell run, you go down and you carry on working from what our divers left off. And at that point, we have to continue the job. We're doing a non-destructive testing, and we'll expect you to carry on the work. Any problems that we feel, if you're not up to it, we're going to have to pull you straight out. So if you're confident with everything and we're happy with it, we'll carry on with the work.
I'd never been in a diving bell before, but in the North Sea, you don't just jump off the side of a rig to get into the water. A bell is like a lift, taking 2 or 3 divers at a time down to the work site.
Thought you was never going to get here. Okay, you're happy with your briefing?
Yes.
Right, you're happy with the diving side, the hat, the bell, and all the equipment you're going to be using?
Yeah.
That's good. The diver's been down there and cleaned it, and he says he don't want you to steal any of his pride that he's done in his work.
Right.
Remember, it is an air dive, and we've got to go as quick as you possibly can, but also be quite clear in your communications that you give back to me.
Yeah.
I want a roger for everything. If we lose communications with you, we'll pull you straight back to the bell. You happy with everything?
Yeah, right.
Good. Okay, let's go.
Okay.
So this was it. This tiny chamber was going to be the base for 2 of us for as long as it took to do the job.
Hi, Alex.
Okay.
Bottom door open, Roger.
Okay, Peter, the bottom door's open. Don't forget when you get out, just sit tight on the stage. Just check all your equipment. Let Alex just have a look at your hat from inside the bell. Make sure you've got no leaks.
Okay,
Diver leaving the bell, roger. There's a slight swell there. The weather's picked up slightly since you went in. Okay, Peter, I'd like you now to move across and go straight across from the bell onto the jacket, roger?
Roger, I can see that straight ahead of me now.
Make sure you don't go any deeper than what you are now. Go straight to those cross beams.
Do you think that I can swim uphill?
Oh, yes, you got no problem. Once you get going, if you drop down, we'll pull you back to the bell.
Okay, roger that.
Slap the diver as he goes, Alex, going across to the job. Stand by to take up his slack quickly if he drops down.
I'm ready to go now.
Away you go then, diver leaving the bell.
On my way.
Okay, just take your time there, you've got plenty of time. That's you on the 20-foot elevation now, roger?
Roger that. Got some mussels for dinner, do you?
That's one of our main jobs, is cleaning them off.
Yeah.
All right, are you on a leg now, a vertical leg?
Yes.
Right, I'd like you to go now to 2 o'clock on a horizontal diagonal bracing. Remember, you've got an umbilical trailing behind you, just keep your eye on it so it doesn't get snagged.
Roger that. Fishing line here too.
Yeah, you'll find plenty of fishing lines, so just be careful. Okay, that's you at the down line now.
Roger that.
Well done, you're on the job. Okay. If you see the node, you'll see where a diver's been previously cleaning it, Roger?
Roger.
Right. The one away to your left there, going away to the 9 o'clock position, I'd like you to clean some more marine growth off there, about another 12 inches from the weld.
Roger that.
We find it easier to use the aquablast, so I'm going to send you that down first.
Roger.
If you look at the rigging, you'll see that we have it specially attached so that if you undo the first shackle, it'll give you a bit to work on. We have a tradition on here, for every shackle you drop, it costs you a bottle of Glenfiddich.
Whatever happened to Glenmorangie then, you cheapskates?
Glenmorangie you can't buy in Norway.
Ah, alright.
It's cheaper to buy a Volvo estate than buy a bottle of that in Norway.
Just trying to keep me bloody balance in this swell.
I said, Roger, you got to wrap your legs round that structure and hang on tight. Slightly different to Fort Bovisand, eh?
Don't make me laugh, it's coming in my mouth. It's like riding a big bloody brook.
It's not easy. Okay, get yourself comfortable and just fire it along the bracing. You can feel the pressure coming on. Okay, now you can see it cleaning, Roger. Yeah, everything's fine, Peter, everything's fine. Expect a bit more work from you, though.
They kept me down there for 4 hours. After the cleaning came the polishing.
You can see how it makes this metal shiny? Yeah, real good. That's what we want all the way around.
The point of it all was to prepare the leg to measure the thickness of its metal with ultrasound.
C1?
C1, Roger, my fault.
C1.
Roger, that's all the readings we need. Okay, well done, mate. You can collect some pay when you come up.
And for a diver, there's no higher praise than that.
You ready? How did it go?
It was magic.
Did you enjoy it?
Yeah. Beautiful.
Okay, you've got a steak on and everybody's waiting to get some meals. So,
Thanks.
Alex has been looking after you for 6
Alex
hours.
has been terrific. Thanks very much indeed. Oh, I'll go for a shower and a steak.
We'll see you over in the galley.
Yeah, okay.
Next week in Tomorrow's World at Large, Kieran Prenderville goes in search of a certain sense of humour. That's next Wednesday at 8:30.